God is the universal self. When you're in your individual self, you are not God. When you are in the mind and the ego, you're not God. You're a part of God, but you're not God. The universal self is God. It's the cosmic self that's within all things. And that cosmic self is experiencing itself. It's creating itself into being in every moment, in every now moment. Its expression is life itself. It's coming into form. It is the creator, and it is the creation, and it's a spontaneous experience. So nobody in their human form can say, I'm God, because as long as you're in a mind, ego, personality, you're a part of God. But when you're in a unified state of consciousness and you're located in everything as the cosmic self, then you're unified with that self that is the divine being.
But if we've created all these things around us in our lives because we need to learn lessons from
Yes.
them, then are we all in this state of cosmic being at some point?
Yes. Yes, we're all manifestations of the one cosmic being, the one cosmic self. We're all expressions or manifestations of that. So at some point, as soon as we take on the body, we forget that and we pretend that we're not that. It's a game, it's a play, that we lose sight of what we are so that we can pretend that we're not that. That way we can experience this whole range of emotions, this whole range of experiences, this whole scenes in the film, sadness and joy and deaths and births and heartbreaks and ups and downs. All of this is the human experience. And that all comes because we forget who we are. And we're playing out this play. And while we're playing out this play, it's so much fun. It's so much joy. The self is enjoying it. It's like an experience of pure joy for the self within. The self is not suffering, only the human being is suffering. But the divine is experiencing everything through us. The divine is experiencing everything that we think, everything that we feel, everything we do. The divine is experiencing that through us. Because the divine is the core of our being. It's the essence of our self. When you're in a human form and you experience suffering, it's real to your human form. When you're out of the human form and you're in the universal self, or you've left your body, you don't experience the suffering anymore. You just see the images as if they were images of a film, of a movie. But when you're in it, it's real. So there's different levels of consciousness. There's different states of reality. And depending on what state of reality you're in, is what you experience. So if you're on the absolute level, you don't experience suffering. But if you're in the physical form, you experience suffering.
Now, when you move from one lifetime to another, how do you bring that cellular memory? You mentioned you had a cellular memory that stayed with you. How does that come with you since you have left one body and moved to a new body?
Everybody does. Regroup? Everybody does. If I had you lay down right now and had you just relax and go into deep meditation, we could unlock your cellular memory. And all of your previous lifetimes would be there, would all come out. All of the different deaths that you've had, all the different injuries that you'd had, they would all be there. All that information would be there ready to access. And we could begin to, not that it's not important to go into past lifetimes. It's not important, it's not important to dwell in the past, because what's important is what's in the present moment, what's in the now. But you can heal blockages or illnesses or life situations that are problematic by just allowing those past lifetimes to come up and be healed in the body, because the cellular memory causes you to be locked into problems from the past. You see, healing, if you want to heal a body, you have to look at the life circumstances that have taken place in this lifetime, mother, father, relationships, and so on. Which you created. Which you set up for your own learning, for your own lessoning, for your own experience. And you can look at what's taken place in your previous lifetimes, as well as your ancestry and your lineage. Because we carry our parents' stuff, we carry our parents' parents' stuff, we carry our great-grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and so on and so forth. Because we carry our lineage, and we carry all of our previous lifetimes, and we carry everything that's taken place in this lifetime. That's why healing is such a powerful and intricate subject, because all of that has to be cleared. All of that has to be healed, all of that has to be forgiven, and the only power that has the power to do that is the divine light. After this 8-week state, where I was merged into the universal self, when I came back from that state, the power of the light, the divine light, was able to come through on a spontaneous level. It's called Shakti. And that Shakti is a force of energy. And that force of energy is what I call light. And when I do my work, I go into that state of samadhi. It's a merged state or a state of union. It's like when I close my eyes, I'm automatically able to flick a switch. And when you flick that switch, it's like turning on that state of samadhi. And when you turn on that merged state or that state of oneness, automatically the divine power and the divine light comes through you. And when it enters into the body, it heals the physical body. It removes blockages in the body. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just the instrument. I just know how to get out of the way really well. I learned how to, from dying on that rock, when I say dying, I was willing to die. I felt like my old self died. And from going into a state of total surrender, that divine power was able to come through. And I said, you know, use me, take me over, you know, let my life be your life. I don't have any life of my own anymore. It's your life. You do the work. And at some point during the 8-week state, I actually felt myself, at a certain point, I went into more of a interdimensional experience where I actually experienced myself going up to a divine being and going to what I call a heavenly realm. And I left my body and I said, I don't want to go back to the earth plane, I'm done. And I was told, you're not done, you have to go back and help everybody else realize what you've realized.
Sounds similar to near-death experience.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I was told, you've realized this now, but you've got to get everybody else to realize this now. And I said, how could I possibly do that? I don't know how to do that. I don't even know how I got here myself. How could I teach anybody else how to? And they just said, that is your purpose, that's your mission, that's why you've been sent there, and you don't really have a choice. You just need to go back there and finish what you've come to do, because you can't stay, you have to go and complete. And I said, okay, and I came back kicking and screaming. Literally, I did not want to come back in. And when I came back in, I said, okay, then if you want me to help others realize this, you have to show me. I don't know how to do that. And then in dreams, at night, different masters came to me again, like had happened in my childhood, and they started to energetically rewire my body so they could use my body as a transmitting station to literally transmit frequencies into people, frequencies of light into people, that they could work through me to transmit these frequencies to awaken people spiritually, to samadhi or higher states of consciousness, to physically heal their bodies, and to work on their thought patterns and belief systems so that they could change their belief systems that were creating illness and negative reality. And so now I just go into a meditative state, and the divine light comes through me as a power or force, and that's what happens. Because there's a group of masters who govern the divine plan on earth and who help with the work. When I say the work, I'm talking about the transformation on the planet right now. There's a massive evolution in consciousness that's taking place. The earth is shifting into a different dimension, which means that it's going to become much, much more peaceful, much better down here for everybody. And so for that to happen, a lot of darkness had to be brought up, a lot of suffering, a lot of wars, a lot of difficulties during that transition period. But it's because there's so much light coming in, and there are beings who've been assigned to help the evolution of the planet. And so when it comes to wars and people who are doing destructive things and so on, it belongs to a negative consciousness that is trying to keep the planet oppressed. Whereas the Masters of Light are working from a level of God's will, which is to bring balance and equilibrium, because the darkness has a place, it has a role. We're not trying to eliminate the darkness, we're just trying to bring things into balance. Well, let's put it like this. It's very, very difficult for me to have any personal life whatsoever. My life is extremely public. It's devoted to humanity. God, the divine told me, if you want to serve me, when I came back into my body, I was told, if you want to serve me, then serve me in all of humanity, because that's where I am. On this realm, that's the way to access me. So bring out the divine in every person. Awaken the divine in every person. If you want to meet me and be with me here on this realm, do that in every person. Every single person you encounter, every person throughout humanity. So my goal is to reach the whole planet. My goal is to reach every person that is open and willing to know the divine and to receive the divine light or to experience bliss. And so with a schedule like that, it makes it near impossible to have a person. Sometimes I do get discouraged by the enormity of it, yes. Just when I feel the call of the people, I'm not able to get back to that place because I'm busy somewhere else. And so what I have to keep telling myself is that it has nothing to do with me, that God doesn't need me, and that I need God, and that if God wants to transform the planet in 1 second by the snap of God's fingers, that can happen. And I can only do what I can do. Physically, I'm capable of doing. I'm just the instrument, and that there are other teachers who are helping in other parts of the planet, and that everything on the highest level is fine, it's perfect. And so only as many people as can be reached at one time, that's the perfect thing. So that's what I have to remind myself of.